What's the greatest mental health tip you've gotten? Never evaluate your life when you're tired. This is so true. Ever notice things seem much worse at night when worries seem at their worst? The next morning your brain can think of ways to fix them, and most times they aren't there the next day. Edit. My mother told me this once and I've never forgotten it. I used to get really anxious at night because the thoughts would flood in when I was tired, and then I'd try to figure them out or worry about them. Now, the second I start to think about something at night, I tell myself I won't be able to actually figure this out right now and will only make it worse because I'm tired, so I will think of it tomorrow. Emotional procrastination. Nice, I can definitely get behind this. I was going to say that. It doesn't work 100%, but very often it does. I go through this with my son. We have a saying, at nighttime everything is worse. He tends to overanalyze when he goes to bed, and this helps him snap out of it a bit as it points out the pattern. For some people the morning is the worst. But the point stands. Mornings are so bad for me. Even after years of therapy and meds, I'm very suicidal and anxious in the mornings. First 2 to 3 hours of the morning suck. That's good advice. Bit like the old sleep on it approach. This hit hard for me. For real. All my stress/worries surface when I'm trying to sleep. If you're not feeling mentally okay, then go to the doctor that handles that sort of thing. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed for seeking professional help. That's what it's there for. I'm the opposite. I'm doing good right now. I trained a lot today, accomplished tasks, felt like a people. Today was good. Often the person that wakes up tomorrow can't do things. Lately I don't know, people are weird. My confidence always rises as the day progresses and peaks in the evening. Once I wake up I feel like a wimp again. I cannot control other people's actions. It's just too bad their actions directly impact me. Pretty much. I think it's more about surrendering control though. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. This is great advice. You now have permission to give me criticism. This is great advice, and also a sick burn if you said it in front of somebody criticizing you. It would be such a laugh to see their confused then pissed off face. Speaking of being confused, the best criticism doubles as advice. Pretend you are your own child. Weird concept, but hear me out. That negative self-talk that's beating you down, would you speak to a child like that? What would you say to your inner child if someone told them they were an idiot or were fat or were useless or unloved? Practice a little kindness toward yourself. I'm trying really hard to do this, and this concept helps me extend compassion toward myself. That's the biggest thing that made a difference in my mental health last year. My mind was basically bullying itself without me realizing it. Once I realized what I was doing, being kinder to myself made a huge difference. That realization was the kickstart that got me to lose 75 pounds. It's okay to not react to every bad memory that loves to resurface in your brain on the daily. It takes a bit of practice, but if you try, you can let those bad/embarrassing/cringy memories just wash up and over you instead of hitting you like a tidal wave. So I had dealt with some trauma and a memory kept popping up in my mind. I talked to someone about it, my wife, and the memory faded a bit. I then talked to someone who was involved in the incident, and that released a lot. It's very cathartic. This is really good advice, actually. Talking about traumatic events allows you to let go of them. It seems contradictory, but there is a lot of science to back it up. I'll just copy-paste my similar advice from another older thread because it seemed to help people. The more you cringe, the more you've grown as a person since that moment. Be kind to the person you were, you didn't know better, heart. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing it badly. If you can't handle doing it perfectly, finish it, half-ass it at least. If you can't groom yourself due to depression, at least brush your teeth. Edit. Thank you for my very first award. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. but whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr. Don't know why, but this almost made me cry. We're going through tough times. The whole world. To loosely quote Firefly, when you can't run, you crawl. And when you can't crawl, you find someone to carry you. What a damn shame that Firefly got cancelled after one season. I'm still salty about it. At first I thought this was stupid advice, but the longer I thought about it, the better it sounds. It's about not being too hard on yourself, but being kind to yourself. You don't have to look tip-top every day, but you deserve basic health and hygiene. You can skip a shower today, but you should shower tomorrow. You don't have to eat healthy today, but consider eating an apple instead of a chocolate bar. You're going to go to the supermarket to get your depression meal anyway, might as well get some vegetables while you're there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't really effing like myself. I'm super negative. I'm harder on myself than anyone else. It's like I effing bully myself and I don't know. I'll literally just drop something on accident and instinct is just to say you effing retard. I just don't value myself laughing out loud, like what's the point of eating healthy if I don't really feel like being around anyways? What's the point of showering when I got to shelter in place and don't have any effing plans to go anywhere with anyone for tomorrow? Or the next day? Or the next day? Etc. Who the hell am I trying to impress? Myself? Like I said, I hate myself, so F it not doing it for myself. This really resonates with me. I have basically zero tolerance for my own mistakes or shortcomings, and it is such an unproductive way to be. I try to follow the 3/3/3 rule. Does the mistake matter in 3 days? 3 weeks? 3 months? It has helped me a lot with calming down. Then pick someone to do it for. You have a pet? Do it for them. Or do it for future you. You may hate present you, but future you would be pretty glad he didn't have to shower today or that past you brushed future you's teeth. But mostly, I would start by talking kinder to yourself. Yes, your instincts may be to insult yourself when you drop something, but if you think you effing retard and then follow it up with it's okay, my fingers slipped and that happens, you will eventually notice yourself being less negative towards, well, yourself. While it does take some work to rewrite your inner monologue, it can be done. No pets. I can't even rely on myself, so I'd feel pretty bad for a dog that has to rely on me. And I really don't have much faith for future me, considering this has all just been a downward trend, so the future projection is just worse than today. And yeah, I need to change the inner monologue, no doubt, because this crap is effed, but I've done it all my life. It can be a good tool when I'm ready for it, but I just don't have much faith in myself to follow through or create any habits. And I don't really have any reasons to motivate myself. I don't know how to create motivation or reverse this trend, but I probably should. As someone that struggles with motivation, I get it. I usually ask myself if I would like it better if I did X. Like, would it feel nice to crawl into clean sheets tonight? And if the answer is yes, I'll change them. Because it actually takes 5 minutes to put on new sheets, and if I don't, I'll spend hours avoiding it. And then, if I do out on new sheets, usually I am get like, man, there's no better feeling than getting into a clean bed, fresh out of the shower, and then I've showered. And most days, I get around to 1 or 2 things. But 1 thing is better than 0 things. Even if the 1 thing is just putting your dirty laundry in the basket, or clearing off your desk, or even just putting the dirty dishes in the sink. Even doing just that 1 thing makes a huge difference, and then you're like, hey, look at me. I did this thing. Personally, making the bed in the mornings makes a difference. It seems so silly, and it's very, very simple, and even if you get back into it afterwards, your blankets are at least in order again. And if you don't get into it immediately, but don't do anything else all day, well, hey, at least you get to crawl into a made bed and you don't have to fix the blankets and everything. And it seriously takes 5 minutes or less, and it gives you a feeling of accomplishment. And if you have the 1% extra energy, you could even open the blinds. One more tip I have that has actually helped when you feel just down and like crap and whatever, and may do an exercise. Like even 10 jumping jacks. Or run in place for 10 seconds. You will never feel worse after exercising. If it makes you feel 1% better, oh well, it only took a minute. If you feel 1000% better, awesome, it only took a minute. And on the sad days, pick a song with a beat that you dig, and move to it. Dance but with no expectations as to what dancing should look like. Flail your limbs. Wiggle your butt, and jump up and down. Do it for just one song, and start with a short one, haha. But it honestly helps. And if it doesn't, again, it took what, 2 minutes? And then you can get back to the regularly scheduled gaming and snacking. Yesterday, I cleaned the toilet, and the bathroom sink and counter, and put on clean sheets and showered. The day before? All I did productive was run a load of laundry through the washer-dryer. Didn't get it folded, still sitting over there, but hey, clean socks. Day before that? I put the empty cups from the room into the kitchen. Nothing else, but at least there aren't cups in my room. You got to cut yourself slack here, and we're all human and life gets hard. But you've survived 100% of your worst days so far. This is what I do, along with keeping a list of to-dos that I check off once a task is finished. If I mistakenly accomplish something not on my list that I hadn't thought about, I'll write that down and check it off as well. Any progress counts as progress, and as the habits form again, it takes less and less policing. Some days you must go through the motions and fake it till you make it. My son, preteen, suffers from depression, and online school is tough for him. He is a gifted student performing 3 to 5 grades above age, so some days his funk is profound. Getting up, sitting through the class at a desk, even if ignoring the content, makes the difference. I always tell him this: if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, I will carry you until you can. That last line, I will carry you until you can. You just brought tears to my eyes. What a wonderful thing to say to your son. I will remember this when my own boys get to that stage. That's a quote from one of my favorite shows of all time, Firefly. If you can't run, you walk, and if you can't walk, you crawl, and if you can't do that, you find someone to carry you. Malcolm Reynolds. I have struggled explaining this one to people. The example that I found resonates best with people is brushing your teeth. Dentists, or at least, my dentist, say you should floss, rinse with mouthwash, and then brush for 2 minutes, then avoid food and drink for an hour. Worst case scenario is you do none of this. You skip all dental hygiene. You know what's better than that? Giving your teeth a 30-second go-over with a brush and water. It's definitely not as good as doing a proper clean, or even using toothpaste, but it's so much better than doing nothing. I haven't been to the dentist in over a decade because of how hard they shame you. Shaming me for not doing the entire routine will not make me do the entire routine. This is kind of gross to admit, but I am finally at the point where I am brushing my teeth twice a day, and I really need someone to say good job to that because it took so long to even get to this point. I still dread the task and basically anything related to my mouth because of how much shame I experienced at the dentist years ago. Man, you need a better dentist. That dentist, or dentists? Sounds like a dick. Same. It was bittersweet. I failed almost every class one semester due to depression, and my brother sat down with me and looked over all my assignments, etc. I'd done 70 to 80% of nearly every assignment, but never turned them in because they weren't complete. I had no idea I'd been doing that, and there was no reason for me to have failed those classes. Yes. I was taught it as if you want to do something negative, for example, stay home, or do self-harm, do the opposite of it. Go out and enjoy a walk or hang with friends. Instead of harming, draw on yourself. To this day I live by that. This goes well with my ideas of you can always do nothing. When I want to drink, self-harm, or do something else self-destructive, I tell myself doing nothing is also an option. Then, if there's 2 options, there's got to be at least one more. Helps me get out of the laser focus mode of poor choices. It's okay to not react to every bad memory that loves to resurface in your brain on the daily. It takes a bit of practice, but if you try, you can let those bad/embarrassing/cringy memories just wash up and over you instead of hitting you like a tidal wave. I'm doing this right now. Trying to get through my final year of college. I was doing so well, and now I am just trying my best to pass the year. Very hard to get motivated with all that is going on. Nobody has this crap figured out. Do your best and wing it like the rest of us. It kind of made me feel like the feeling of being lost and unsure of what to do next was normal. I am 72. You speak the truth. Everyone's winging it. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.